All right, everyone, welcome to my home garage. We're going to do a more formal video than the moving vlogs, but if you're interested in all the parts and pieces I've been doing to this house, make sure to go check it out. And we have we're like a 20-part series at this point. But today's video is going to be focused on installing the Jackshaft operators from Liftmaster. I bought these from, it's like Northeast Garage Door or something like that. I bought them online, and then Mike's gonna do the install. I'm gonna follow him around, ask him questions about how we do this. But we're gonna convert our traditional garage door opener to one of these guys here. That's a Jackshaft operator, so it will go on the shaft portion, and we already did the pre-wire. We'll show you all that stuff, but we want to get this junk out of the way. I don't know that I'm going to do a high lift rail in this garage. I don't know that it's really necessary. I don't plan to do a lift in here. I don't plan to be in this house for too long, maybe a couple of years at most. But I did have these that I bought from my last house that I was planning on doing a lift. And luckily we didn't install them. Actually, we started to install them, took them back off the wall. But I'd pre-wired and everything. But luckily I didn't install them because we ended up selling that house. And so the main thing for this garage is to clean it up for the lights and just get it out of the middle of the ceiling. It just looks so much better. And so here's all the parts and pieces, and we'll take you through each one of these as we get it set up. We have to decide if we're going to do the goofy little light.
Yeah, well, that plugs into where the existing opener would have plugged in. And then
yeah, I guess we can do it. It'll look okay on the ceiling. Sure. We have to decide that. But we have all our various parts and pieces. So I guess we're going to, where's this backup battery going to go?
That goes inside the unit.
Oh, it does? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, let's get started. These things are pretty darn simple.
They are simple.
Do we have to mess with the spring at all?
Nope. Nope, we don't. Torsion tube and springs stay the way they are. I mean,
I do have the tools if we need to have the...
What, need to wind it more?
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to, unless we'll check it for balance. But it should be, I think I need a socket and a ratchet for that.
So the good news of this house is that I do have insulated doors, and for those of you who are not from Florida, they require you to put these hurricane braces on them now. So these are, I think, set up to withstand 150 mile per hour winds. But the nice thing I already noticed this garage is, first of all, it's insulated on the ceiling.
It is, yep.
It's block, which is not a great insulator, but
pretty good,
decent enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's
once we
cool
trim out the entry door, because there's a big old air gap there, that'll help. But these doors are sealing up pretty nicely too. Looks like they did one of the few things they did a decent job on install. I don't see any light. Very, very little light.
Okay, I'll sit there. This off.
So this one here is a DGD 800. Sounds real classy.
Yeah.
Discount garage doors. You know I love everything discounted.
Yes, I know you do.
I'm a huge discount guy.
Fantastic.
I love things that are cheap and economical. Built to a price point. That's the way to do it.
It's made in Sri Lanka.
The way to live your life. Everything built to a price point.
Yeah.
The lowest price possible. About as good as my attic stairs over there.
Yeah, those things are bad. I can't wait for you to get new ones. Now you're going to get them and won't have anything left to do in the attic.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Well, that's why I make Michelle keep all her tchotchkes and Santa heads up there.
Santa heads.
They will get used.
Okay. And we can take this.
I think this is the perfect height ceiling for a garage. I think when you get too tall, it just doesn't feel as comfy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. What did we measure this at? 12.5 or?
It's 11.4.
11.4? Yeah, couldn't remember. Whatever it is, it's good.
Yeah, 12 feet. 12 feet is the way to go, I think.
You're making fun, and look at this. It's got the supreme options.
Precision.
Very precise. All right, so now the best part, you take this off the ceiling.
Yeah. I've never had this. Never had a jackshaft operator.
Really?
The first one.
Oh, I see they used a toggle bolt for this side. That's.
Oh boy. They made about 50 holes up there.
I saw a toggle up there. I didn't realize it was for this. Yeah, we don't need to do anything with the spring. That's pretty perfect, really. All right, number one assistant. Need some assisting. Just keep it shoved towards the garage so it doesn't fall. Well, this one's toggle bolted in too. Jeez. So yeah, this is already fished. So what we'll do is I'll find it up in the attic where it goes over to the old openers, and I'll tie into that rather than trying to fish wire through the wall again, as we know the new openers are gonna go straight, same place as these. Get those cut. We got a coupler here that goes onto the torsion tube, this end, and then this end goes onto the opener itself. And then there's a clip here that supports or basically keeps it from twisting when it opens, that mounts to the to that wood that's going vertically. So get that on. So the bolts that came with the opener, they're a little too long, the legs, because we only have it's a 2x6, and which is 1.5 inches thick. So these are 2 inch, so they'll bottom out on the block wall. So I had to dig some of the ones out of Matt's DSG garage door opener there. These are 1.5 inches, so these will be perfect. So the bracket's installed. Now these two screws, this bracket's slotted so you can pull the opener in and out to get it kind of parallel with the wall. So I'm going to adjust that because it's a little bit sucked in here. So I think I need 5/16. Either a quarter or 5/16, and then a ratchet. Not as big a pain as I thought. Kind of bugs me. This opener, the torsion tube was mounted higher than this side on this door. So the openers are not going to be at the same height, which is going to drive me nuts. But well, guess who's going to be looking for it? I'll give you one guess. No, not really. I mean, if you do, if you try to lift it, you're gonna be pulling on the wire. Yeah, because See, the rails are actually, the track is actually mounted at a different height too. And they mount straight off the rack, or track. So it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. All right. So same thing over here. We're going to put a couple of 1.5 inch lags into this clip, and then we'll adjust it as necessary. It's just, there we go, right there. Next thing is there's a lock that goes on the track, and it basically, it's a safety lock, so that way the openers you can't overcome them by pulling up on the door outside or whatever. So we'll do those next. All right, so this is what we're mounting. That's what the template I just used, and center punched some holes. So we're going to be drilling 2 5/16 holes for these screws, and then a 3/4 inch hole for this locking pin. So it's a solenoid essentially. So when the door is down and you haven't hit the opener, this will be out. As soon as you hit the open, it's click that way, allows the door to unlock, and then the door opens. So I think it's basically so someone can't break in. So you can't basically overpower the opener, make it slip on the shaft by lifting up the door. This prevents it because it basically, we put it near a roller so that it's in this position, so the roller will come up and hit this pin and not allow the door to be forced open. All right, let's pile it, and we do the 5/16 for the top and bottom. So we'll do this one too. All right, so this is mounted. It comes with our flathead screws, if you can see back there, so that way the roller clears the screws. And then when the garage is down, this is basically out. So if the roller were to come up, it's going to hit this pin and not be allowed to open. And obviously, as soon as you hit the button, that sucks in, then the door opens. So I'm going to do one more right here. 1.5 inches. This goes like this. So, good mark here. 21.5. Alrighty. Let's get the screws. Alrighty. Those are done. So this will go up and over, and we'll just staple it to this edge of that 2x all the way around into the opener. Nice and clean. I don't probably have as much as you, but
JC,
yeah, they're barking up the wrong tree, basically.
where's your collar, buddy? Where's your collar? We need to go get your collar. Come on, let's go get it. Let's go get it and you go outside.
All right, so what I'm doing here is the wiring for the sensor on the left side of the garage door wasn't long enough. Because these are 8-foot doors, 8 foot tall, it was just about maybe 12 inches too short. So there's gonna be I'm gonna splice it. The splice will be hidden just inside here, so you won't see it anyway, but I've gotta add about 10 inches or so to it. So fortunately this side is extra long, so I can cut some of this off and use this wire. This isn't real critical, so there's no reason to solder and shrink tube any of this. It's just a dumb sensor. Sensors are both hooked up for both doors. The solenoids for the locking mechanisms are hooked up. The cable tension sensors are hooked up. The only thing I have left to do, everything's wired in here. The only thing I have left to do is hook up the buttons, push buttons at the door, the entrance door into the house. And I've got to get up in the attic to do some wiring there, get that in, and then we can plug them in, put the batteries in, and they should be good to go. That'll be perfect. I've got the wire coming from the door switch, or the push button by the door. That's hooked up now. So now the next thing is install the battery backup. So we'll get that done, and then I'll wire up the actual push button over there, and we'll give it a test. Okay. Okay. Wrong way. All right, so next is these are the cable tension adjusters. This is to make sure if the spring were to break and the cable goes slack, this will touch the micro switch and the operator won't try to work. So putting these, I got one installed on this side, the other one's going over here, and this basically you want the cable from 1/8 to 1/4 away from the edge of this flange. So as the cable winds on the wheel, it's going to come across this. So you want to give it, if you put it too far out, the cable's liable to walk right off. So anyway, I'll get this one installed on this side, we can wire it up, and then we're just about ready to start testing the openers. All right, so I think this one I have to flip-flop around. Yeah. So I gotta turn this around. Are we still on?
Still wrong.
Okay. So the other thing too to mention is this can go two different ways. The way I need to mount it to keep it away from the edge of the wood there, I'm going to end up pulling this clip off, sliding this out and putting it the other side. So that way this mounts away and the shaft will stick out this way. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay. Go. Now we should be good. Gotta go higher.
Locked.
Safe from predators. Twist these two together and wring these out. There we go. All right. All right, so I got the last of the cable tensioning switches connected. Went up in the attic, found the old wiring for the previous openers, spliced into that, ran that to each of the new openers, and I'm just doing the last connection here and getting this push button installed, and then we can start programming the openers. So theoretically, if we stick a garbage can here, simulating a plastic child, well, shouldn't go down. Nope, won't work. So that's good. We can program and test the other one. Oh, it should go down. There we go. There we go.
Trying to adjust the height.
Yes.
Up and down
So what you do is you press the set button, which is the center one. It puts it into a program mode. Then you hold the up arrow until you see it come where you want it to stop. You let off. Then you hit the program button again. And you hold the down button until it hits where you want it, and then you let off. Then you hit the program button again, and it sets it. Sometimes it'll ask you to do it a couple times. It'll keep flashing at you if it doesn't like it. So what I'm doing here is the wires from that switch, the old switch, run directly under this room that's where the furnace is, the air handler, I should say, and I can access the wires. So what I did was I found where they come out over here, but there's two sets of wires. So I couldn't pull the wire that's leading from this through to splice it. So what I did was I could access the other one that comes from the sensors, the old interference sensors, and I basically junctioned those together and made this a junction box or junction point so that I could run my wire from the right side opener up to and connect into this. So now I have one continuous loop. I just couldn't access it. Rather than trying to fish wire down through the wall, I just used the existing wires to make the loop. Okay, so what we found out was the remote did come, both remotes came pre-programmed for the doors. Well, what I did was, because it makes sense to have the bigger button open the big door and the little button open the small door, what I was finding out was when I programmed this large button on this remote, which controlled this door, for it to open this door, it was opening both. So what we did was I reset the programming on this door to forget all codes, and then reprogrammed it so that this button now programs controls the big door, and this second little button controls this door. Magic. So on both openers, big buttons, big door.
Yeah.
Second one is little door.
Not some backwards way like you normally do it, where it's like come into a room.
No, you're the one that's backwards.
One right switch on.
You're the one that's backwards. Put stickers on that are easy to come off. Oh yeah. All right. Except they're not calibrated 176, 177. Oh well, that's because heat rises. See, 77 down here. We're all done, except Matt's downloading my queue to get his Wi-Fi enabled so he can control his garage door openers from the comfortable couch inside while he's eating snacks, watching Villanova games. Chris? I think I'm gonna go home and watch Shawshank Redemption tonight. I think this is a sign. All right, so installation's complete. We've got both units mounted, we've got all the sensors done, got the program, the remotes. We've got the both the switches for the door done. Their times are programmed. We've got temperatures built into them. The only thing Matt didn't want to do is they come with these 4,000 Kelvin lights that are Wi-Fi. That when you open the door, they come on. But since we're going to be doing lighting in here and motion activated, probably at least 2 of them, he opted not to put those in. But basically, it's done. Clean install. I did previous to the install today when I put the Tesla charger in. I mounted. I did a single gang up top, or 2 gang with a single duplex in there for both remotes. They're on a 20 amp dedicated, so we're all set there. They only draw an amp and a half a piece, but you know, it's better to have more power than not enough. Anyway, looks good. It's clean. They work really well. It's quiet, much quieter than the previous, whatever this one was. And this one was a Liftmaster or Chamberlain. But yeah, great install, easy to do. Took a little time in the attic having to chase wires. It's 125 degrees up there right now. But anyway, the hard part was up there. So we're done.